Welcome to this edition of On the Scene. I'm your host, Tim Kelly. On today's program, we're going to talk about the Suffolk Public Library System, and not specifically about the books that you may see behind me, but more specifically about the things that they offer online. There's a multitude of services that are available online that are free of charge and only require a valid library card. So we're going to highlight some of those. In addition, did you know what the City of Suffolk is doing to prepare for the upcoming winter and the impact that it may have on our roadways? Well, we're going to have a little segment on that as well. Stay tuned. Welcome back to On the Scene. We're here at Morgan Memorial Library to talk with Melinda Brown, Head of Reference Services for Suffolk Public Library System. Melinda, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
And we're here to talk about a unique aspect of the library that maybe you don't realize it's a resource out there for you to use, and that is all the online services that the library offers free of charge. And again, obviously you know about the books, you can come in and check out CDs, and you can utilize a lot of the resources that are physically here at the library, or the three libraries, I should say, around the City of Suffolk. But let's go online and talk about some of the things that are there, especially because beginning of the new year, a lot of people might have got those holiday gifts of the Kindles or the iPads or iPods, whatever they got, and they want to utilize those services. And we're going to talk about that, talking about audiobooks and eBooks. We're going to kick it off with that. We've already done a couple segments on those already, but I think there's been some enhancements to reach out to some other devices. And Melinda, I'm going to let you take it away and start with the website, and you tell us what the URL, how you can get started, and then you take us from there.
Okay. Everything starts from the library's homepage. It's www.suffolk.lib.va.us. From our homepage, you can get to the downloadable audiobooks, the downloadable ebook that you can read on your devices, and the electronic resources, which are databases, the new online language learning, and the Virginian Pilot database.
Correct.
OneClick Digital is the little red icon here, is our downloadable audiobooks.
Okay.
And you can access that from the homepage just by clicking on the link there. And it takes you to the featured books.
Correct, correct.
And you can search the catalog without logging it in.
Correct.
So if you just want to go in and look around and see what's new, new books usually pop right up, and we've got some brand new books, some bestsellers. Okay. A lot of the books that people are asking for. You can search for, I'm just going to type in romance. Okay. You can search for any type of book, any genre you want. We have fiction, nonfiction, there's westerns, mysteries, and all the popular things. Just for that search, I got 6 pages of romance books. Over here, you can see that it says availability. I have 551 that are available right now. All right. Right now, there's only 1 checked out. You can narrow it down by short stories or any type of genre you want.
So you can really get to that one type of genre that that you're looking for. Now again, I noticed that it says OneClick Digital, so that's our provider for the service, but it's of course through the library system. But all you need is a current valid library card to access these resources, correct?
Exactly.
So again, you would apply for that at the library itself, then go on. But you would obviously have your library account, should I say, but you also have your account with OneClick Digital, but again, all that's free, correct?
It's all free. You set up an account with OneClick Digital, which is just using your email and creating a password. Okay. And you can search for these through the OneClick Digital catalog. You can also search them through the library catalog.
Got it. Okay.
When you search for an audiobook in our library catalog, you'll see a little miniature headphone icon that pops up, so you know that that's a downloadable audio.
And of course, you download that to your device, and but you have it. Is it just like the eBooks, which we've talked about before, where you have a certain duration to use that, and then your license to check that out it will be expired at that point?
Exactly. Okay. You can choose how long you want to check it out. You can check out 2 items at a time. Okay. And when your time period is up, 14 days, 2 days, whatever you select, the license expires, which means you might see it on your device, but you can't read it.
That's correct.
Or listen to it. If you want to check it out again, you're certainly free to, as long as nobody has a hold on it.
Got it.
If you see something you want and somebody has checked it out,
Right.
you can put it on a wish list, or
Okay.
you can put yourself on hold for it.
Great.
With
Okay.
your library card, and when your turn comes up, you'll get an email.
Okay. And then you just go to the download. Now, what devices can utilize the OneClick Digital? What type of, I know variety do we have out there to offer?
You can use all the Apple products, Android devices, smartphones, tablets. There is a OneClick Digital app
Okay.
you can get from the Google Play Store for the Android.
Okay.
You can get the app through the Apple Store if you have Apple products.
Right.
There are probably 50 different devices they list that you
Okay.
can use. And right now we're doing our first adult winter reading program.
Right.
And the grand prize is an MP3 player donated by the Friends of the Library that is compatible with this.
Great.
So that's, you know, something they
A good
can
incentive to
use.
get involved
Yeah.
in the program and utilize, again, more resources that the library is
Right.
offering. Now, we've talked about audiobooks, so let's back up a little bit and talk about the eBooks.
Okay.
Which, again, I believe there's also been some enhancements there since perhaps the last time we were here talking about that.
Let's see.
We'll go back to the homepage
There
of the
we go.
website. Okay.
Back to the home page.
Yes.
You see Access 360.
Mm-hmm.
You can browse for titles. You can download the app. The newest thing is the Bluefire Reader app. That allows you to download EPUB
Okay.
format
Right.
for a digital book. EPUB works with a larger variety of devices.
Got it.
So if you weren't able to access ebooks before, you can access them now
Got it.
through doing the EPUB.
Same offerings, I assume, but it's just a different app by how you're utilizing what you
Right,
have.
it's just a different format
Right. I got you.
for the device to read it
Read.
in.
Okay.
Also with the EPUB format,
Mm-hmm.
you can return your book early.
Okay.
So if you check it out for 14 days and you finish it quickly and you want to check out something
Right.
else, you can return it
Okay.
through EPUB where you can't with the other apps.
Right. And how many titles can you have out at one time?
You can have two out
Two.
at one
So
time.
looking at that, and again, the checkout, I assume very similar to where you see what's available. You know, you can obviously a nice visual presentation here when you come to the website. You can search, as you noted, by genre or author or subject matter, whatever title. But again, you'll know whether that title's available.
Right.
And can you put yourself on a waiting list as well? Same
You
kind of.
can create a wish list for things you want to go back to later, or you
Right.
can put yourself on hold.
Got
And
it.
again, you'll get an email when your turn comes up
Right.
with a link. You just click on the link, put in your library card
Okay.
number and your password, and you can download it. The EPUB should make it easier for more people
Right.
to download this. And the Bluefire app that I was talking about, that's free.
Okay.
All the apps are free.
Right.
So you can download that, and if you have trouble downloading
Right.
or you have trouble with your new device,
Sure.
you can call or come by,
Okay.
and we'll be glad to help you get
Great.
set up.
Well, you get, so to speak, sales and service, but of course
Right.
the sale is the best sale because it's all free services. You just have to have that library card, again, that's current and valid. So, again, a great resource here. Now, let's shift a little bit in something we have not talked about before, and I just want to
Okay.
touch on these things. Again, feel free to visit the website to see. Now, let's specifically talk about the Rocket Language program. And of course,
Okay.
there's a multitude. What is Rocket Language? It's the ability to go online and you get free access for language learning, correct?
Exactly, yes. If you go to our homepage again and you click on electronic resources, and then you'll go to magazines and research databases. These are our featured databases here. You can click right on this icon for Rocket Languages.
Okay.
And again, you'll set up an account. It's just your email
Right.
and your password.
Right.
It's free. You don't have to pay anything.
Right.
And this just allows you, when you set up your account with the new user, that allows your library card to talk to the Rocket Languages,
Got it.
and so you can save your progress as you go. You can learn Spanish, Portuguese, Hindi, American Sign Language, Mandarin Chinese, French, Arabic, and you can learn English if you're a Spanish speaker.
Got it.
You can do the other way.
Now, how does that work? What is offered through there? I believe you also have some downloadable MP3s, but you also can walk your way through on the website itself. Is that correct?
Right. It has interactive conversations that you can listen to on various subjects and get a feel for how the language works.
Right.
There are games. to help you master the language, which
Right.
is the kids really like,
Sure.
because you don't really realize you're learning something. There you can track your progress. It's very interactive and it's very easy.
Mm-hmm.
You don't feel like you're struggling through.
Exactly.
You can learn about the language and culture.
Mm-hmm.
You can track your progress. There's video,
Right.
especially for the American Sign Language portion.
Correct.
You have a video of a sign language speaker going through, and that's
Right.
very handy.
Now, how elaborate does it get? I know obviously there are different language learning programs out there, and some of them perhaps just to give you a taste, but again, with all the multitude of options that I'm seeing here, and the way you really can really get in depth with it, again with the language and culture and some of the other aspects that really come out.
You can start as someone who has never spoken a
Right.
foreign language before.
Okay.
Very basic. Children can use it.
Mhm.
It's really easy to use.
Right.
And you can work your way up
Okay.
and get as in depth as you want to.
Very nice.
Also, there are Rocket language apps for Android.
Okay.
Apple products don't have an app yet, but the
Okay.
Android does.
Right.
So you can put the app on your smartphone or on your tablet,
Right.
and when you're on the bus or waiting in line,
Right.
whatever, you can log into your
Sure.
account
Sure.
and work from there.
Great.
And you can work at your own pace. It saves your progress. And there's also a community, online community
Okay.
for the different language groups.
Okay.
So if you're having trouble with something, you can post a
Right,
problem
right.
on the board,
Right.
and you get responses from other people who are doing the program also.
Very nice. Well, now let's back up one second as well to the electronic resources, because you noted that there were some of the featured ones that are across on the banner right there. And again, this is just a real cursory overview as far as what's available. But I noticed right there the Virginian Pilot database, just one thing that jumps out to me. What exactly can you get to through there, and what services are offered through that particular application?
You can look at their featured hot topics here. You can look at the year in review. You can look at articles on current events that are going on
Right.
now, different topics that are in the news. It breaks it down by topic, but you can also go in and search for anything you want.
Now, how far back does that archive go?
This goes back to 1990,
Okay.
and we also have microfilm that goes further back.
Got it. Got it.
But this goes back to 1990. It's updated daily.
Mm-hmm.
So within 24 hours of a story being in the paper,
Right.
it should be on here. It's full text,
Mhm.
and you should get images. I can search here for I'm just typing in holiday events, and I got 6,400 holiday events. Now
Right.
I can narrow it down
Sure.
by the year,
Right.
or we can go back. If you want to read yesterday's paper,
Got it.
you can just click on the link for
That particular
That
edition, and then
particular
it breaks
day.
it down by articles with, again, I guess, like the subtitles or the titles of the articles themselves.
right.
Very nice. Now, again, all these resources we talked about in today's program are available online through the Suffolk Public Library website. Again, you can go there, very easy to maneuver through. Now, Melinda, if someone's watching this program and they go, okay, look, this looks great, but I had a question about it. What's a good contact number for someone to call just to maybe find a little bit more about this if they wanted to know?
You can call the line to get to North Suffolk Library
Right.
is 757-514-7150.
Okay.
And any of the reference staff can help you. Also here at Morgan.
Morgan, okay. And then Chuckatuck as well, I assume as well. So we'll have all
Exactly.
those numbers on the screen and get that to you.
Exactly.
Again, the website address, just to get to the initial portal on the library website, is?
www.suffolk.lib.va.us.
Okay, and again, that's your portal to get in. But the only thing you really need to get everything started is a library card. And
Exactly.
Again, you have to come into one of your branches and apply for that there. Take care of that process. Again, it's free of charge. But again, just some great resources out there that the City of Suffolk Public Library System is offering. So be sure that you take advantage of it. Welcome back to On the Scene. I'm your host, Tim Kelly. Well, you know, a few months ago, we spent some time with our public works staff out at their site on Carolina Road talking about what they're doing to prepare for the winter holidays, specifically what they're going to do to prepare the roadways in case we have snow or ice, those kind of bad conditions. So let's take a look at that segment because, you know, winter will be here before we know it. Joined now by Antonio Jordan, who's Operations Manager with the City of Suffolk Department of Public Works. Antonio, thanks for being with us today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
And of course, why are we outside? Why are we standing in front of this big vehicle and having this conversation? We're talking about preparedness for the winter, with Public Works doing all the great work that they do throughout the year, but specifically during the winter times when the roads have to be cleared. These are the guys and ladies that are taking care of that job. And more importantly, they're planning year-round to make sure that everything is set up and good to go if Mother Nature comes a-calling in our winter months here in the city of Suffolk.
That's right.
So talk to us about some of the preparation. What goes into getting ready for a winter here in the city of Suffolk?
Okay, basically our season never ends with the snow fighting. As the end of the last year takes place with snow removal, we kind of do a lot of our maintenance activities, which tends to be March, April, May, June, and throughout the summer months. Right. What we're doing is we're actually taking an opportunity to review every piece of equipment, any damage that we occurred from the previous year. Right. We're now working with our fleet department in order to get those things together to be able to be prepared for the next snow season. Mm-hmm. When we continue to look at it, we try to incorporate things that we have learned in the past. Right. You know, what worked well, what did not work so well from the previous year, if that was anything with routes or anything of that nature. So we tend to spend, you know, 5 or 6 months just doing vehicle maintenance. There'd be lubing, chains, spreaders, plows, things of that nature. Correct. And pretty much trying to get our operators back into that mindset of taking care of the equipment before we need it actually in the winter months. Right. We would then, September, October, start to get into the issue of now training our manpower again. Right. Getting their mind focused on the snow removal upcoming season. Correct. We'll start rehashing our routes, priority listing routes that we have. Correct. Training new employees on the proper techniques of snow and plow, ice removal, and all that other good stuff. Right. So we often have a rigorous training program between the months of September to December, right? You know, with the manpower and equipment, so they'll get there. So most of the time in November, when people see that it's a bright, sunny day, albeit it's cold, right, they'll see us with our plows and our spreaders on the trucks riding around. Our employees are now trying to learn the routes they're going to go on, get familiar with what they're going to be maintaining throughout the winter months. Because again, you don't want to be planning that stuff at the last minute. You want to have your game plan ready to go, correct? Exactly, exactly. And the preparedness, I guess, is definitely the key. You mentioned the training, but you also mentioned that off camera, before we started taping, you guys have been going through some dry runs you talked about already. Is that process pretty much what you just talked about, or anything else included with that? You talk about outfitting the equipment and everything like that as well. Yeah, we typically do our dry runs around, like I said, October, November. Right. In addition, the previous year, we started to make inclusions, and we work along with our fleet maintenance to obviously see if there's things that can make us better. Sure. We tend to like to, you know, take a look at what we did right or wrong. If there's anything out there that make us run more efficient, we take a look at it and we try to purchase. There was one thing that we did over the last snow season. We actually brought in a brine truck. Correct. The brine truck we brought in is to help us get into a pre-treatment mode. Okay, with the pre-treatment, it allows us the opportunity to be ahead of the storm before it gets here, instead of being in the reactive mode, the proactive mode. Correct. And when we get into that mode, we'll take the brine truck. Normally we load it up with a sodium chloride solution. Okay. We pre-treat the roads all the way at 72 hours in advance. We can actually have that down to help us become more effective in our snow fighting. It also helps us on an environmental, because that means there's less coarse material that we have to put down during the event. Sure. So we try to learn those things, and that's what kind of gets us much more prepared for the upcoming season. So we kind of take that into account as well. Talk about the process. Storm's on the way, and we're getting our updates, of course, from our Department Division of Emergency Management, letting us know kind of what's coming. We're checking weather reports ourselves. You know something's coming. Where does your clock start to run? How far out before an event arrives do you start gearing everything up, getting your folks ready, getting the equipment ready, getting all the supplies ready to go? What's the timetable look like for y'all in an ordinary situation? In an ordinary situation, we're eyeing that weather report rigorously for like 4 days in advance, 96 hours. We kind of get into that mode of the anticipation of what's coming.
Right.
At that point, we're hosting meetings continuous with our manpower in order to get their mindset ready. We are out for personnel, so we're kind of letting everybody know that, you know, this is what's coming. This is the potential of what kind of storm this could be,
Correct.
the event. And at that point, we start to lay down actually how we're going to function during that time frame.
Right.
We start to implement, you know, 12-hour rotating shifts for the employees. Again, we start to make sure that everything is maintained
Right.
and work in order. We coordinate with other departments, like I said, our fleet maintenance department, into making sure that we have, you know, adequate manpower to help us out if we should have some breakdowns or things like that.
Correct.
As we get into the 72-hour window prior to a storm event,
Right.
we ultimately like to continue to have meetings, but that's where we plan on deploying our pre-treatment system.
Correct. Right.
Okay. We are taking a look at our priority 1 and priority 2 routes. Most of those priority 1 and 2 are the majors, arterial collectors,
Right.
Bridges, and things that, you know, that needs to be operational during an events like hospitals,
Right.
fire departments, and things like that. So we start to get our game plan together again to enact that. All of those functions together. So 72 hours, we start to deploy the brine truck.
Got it.
When we get down to 48 hours, we kind of know what we're going to get.
Right.
At that point, I started to utilize some types of charts and things from the Salt Institute.
Right.
You know, they have a snow fighter's manual, and it kind of helps us anticipate exactly, you know, the event weather-wise, temperature, and what the potential is, and how we should put our materials out on the roadway and to use it most effectively.
Correct.
So then we started to do that type of activity. 24 hours, we're 24 hours before the event. Now we're enacting where the 12-hour, we have guys on the 12-hour
Right,
shifts, and
right.
we're kind of now waiting, and we're watching all our weather reports until we actually get out here and do what's necessary.
Okay. Now I know a lot of people will say, okay, it snowed last night, wake up next morning, when are they going to start working the roads? Now you guys are out there pretty early, but obviously safety is a key, not only for our residents traveling on the roads, but certainly
Exactly.
for you and your staff out there manning this equipment. So if you can talk about how that process goes when you make the determination of, okay, the event has happened,
Right.
we've gotten the snowfall, or it's still falling, as in
Right.
some cases it is. When are you guys out there hitting the roads when that time frame right there?
Well, depending on how the event has evolved, if it's a event where the weather is very cold, I mean below freezing,
Right.
We type to look at that to where we're trying to do ice control, you know, because wet roads is freezing. So we may be out there just now treating the road with a salt sand abrasive to give traction and to also to try to help de-ice where we can.
Right.
Okay. When we are in that opportunity, we're looking at hopefully that weather will play fair. You know, you get this, I call it a solar slope plan. What ultimately happens if the sun comes up, the
Right.
temperature rises, it helps us to
Yes.
fight that ice
Yes.
and snow.
Right.
So our guys typically will get out there in the event if we have maybe a quarter inch of ice, something of that nature, and
Yes.
definitely we start plowing for snow when we're looking at 1.5 to 2 inches of snow on the ground.
Got it.
We will be plowing. We start our plowing efforts.
Okay.
So.
Now, if people are out there, and obviously, you know, during a weather situation like that, of course, safety, again, we talked about
Right.
is key. And obviously, information will be out there about really when it's safe enough to get on the roads. But if you're out there and your folks are out there doing their job, what are some good safety measures and thoughts for the people who are driving in and around those situations? If you got a truck plowing in front of you or to the side of you, obviously there's some, it plows and it's going to kick it to the sides, correct? I mean, that's, I guess, physically how that
That's
works.
correct.
Talk about just some general safety measures that drivers out there, while this process is going on, might need to think about.
Yeah, well, most of our trucks and our equipment are equipped with signs that tells people to stay back 500 or 1,000 foot.
Right.
That'd be the key. The key is to definitely do not drive any closer because you risk the opportunity to having material damage your vehicle.
Correct.
Okay. Number 2, we love to try to tell people we're plowing the way for you.
Right.
Instead of trying to get on the side of us or get past us, stay behind us. We're going to
Correct.
make it safe for you to go in.
Right.
If you really have to go somewhere. Most importantly, if you don't have to be out
Right.
there, you give us a better opportunity not
right.
to damage your vehicle,
Correct.
damage, and it increases our safety
Sure.
input with less traffic on the roadway.
Exactly.
I would tell you, if you don't have to go out, by all means, don't go.
That's right.
But
Stay-
if you do, stay behind us.
Now, do y'all utilize crash trucks? I know we do with some of the other operations that go on throughout the city, but do you use them when you're doing the plowing?
No.
Okay.
Our crash trucks are typically not equipped in order to, kind of help us out in that event.
Right.
So we do not use those.
Okay.
So,
but you mentioned the signage that's on the
we
back
have
of the
signs
vehicles.
and we have lights all over the place. This thing is like
Can't miss it.
Can't miss it. Can't miss it.
And bright orange plows, at least in this one we're looking at here.
Yeah.
Now, the building behind us, just tell us about what's inside of there. I'm looking at a couple piles of what looks like to me to be sand, but talk about what we got.
Yeah, what we have in here, this building has a capacity of holding 400 tons of sand or salt combination. It's the abrasive we actually use to put on the roadway.
Okay.
In here right now we have a mixture of sand, salt, like I said, abrasive piling. And I got it mixed at a 50-50.
Okay.
Okay, so by volume, we will take that. That gives us the best traction and the best de-icing when you mix the sand, salt together. It stays on the roadway longer. It don't have the potential of blowing away through the snow or the wind, and also the traffic that's traveling. So that's what we got in this down here. I have several other ones around strategically placed throughout the city. And we're capable of holding about 1,600 tons of material at one time for an event.
Now, an event happens, obviously your supplies get depleted. Do you start refreshing those right away, or does it kind of depend upon the circumstances?
It depends upon the circumstances. We always have a threshold that we want to get.
Sure.
I get around 800 tons left.
Okay.
We do have suppliers who will come in at a moment's notice to supply us.
Okay. Now, Antonio, if someone's watching this program and they just would like some more information, is there a good contact number for them to call with the city?
Yes, you can call our 514-7600 number.
Okay.
It is our service request or our hotline that gets you right directly here to Public Works. And they can get good information from the young lady who will answer the phone.
Okay. Well, Antonio, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks a lot.
Telling us about all the great stuff the city of Suffolk is doing to prepare our staff, our equipment, and certainly the roads for the city of Suffolk in the event that we have a severe weather emergency during the winter times, looking at snow or ice. But these men and women are out there working hard to make sure it's safe for you to get out there on the roads. And hopefully, again, we had some great information today to pass along, and that will do it. Thanks for watching this edition of On the Scene. We'll see you next time.